Hi, I'm Rod Sowden and welcome to our video that looks at bringing the concept of POTI to life. This is one of our Competent Vision and Outcomes series and I hope you find something useful in it for you. To help bring this to life, we thought we'd focus on a particular concept. So we're going to set up an online business and think about what does the POTI mean in that context. So just a reminder, in a program, we should have some sort of target operating model or blueprint. And this sets out what the end game is for what the program will deliver. Not what you're going to build, but how the organization will run afterwards. Now, sometimes that's really difficult to work out if you're inside an organization looking at the world around you. So we're taking this concept of setting up a new business from scratch. So maybe we can help to bring it to life. Now, in all our various reviews of programs over the years, to be honest, a blueprint target operating model is almost like a mythical beast, because when we ask for them, they rarely exist or they're compiled from lots of other information. So they are really important though, because if you don't understand what you want to deliver at the end of the program, how can you possibly be successful, right? So they shouldn't be a mythical beast. They should be one of the first things you put together. So just as a little reminder what POTI stands for, it stands for process, which is the way we get things done. The organization, which is the people that do it, which could be human beings, it could be the supply chain, it could be employed, whatever format their relation is, it's the way it gets things done. Technology is the tools and systems we use to get the thing done. And management information is the key bit, because that actually outlines how we control the organization and what data we use to assess its effectiveness. So if we take this idea forward and look at POTI in terms of delivery. So we're thinking about this online business. What people and organizational structure will we need at the end? Well, we're going to need a management team. We're going to need our staff on the shop floor supervising it, and we're going to need the people that do the work. All right. So if we're imagining an online retailer, I don't know, ASOS, one of those kind of guys, you're going to have the pit, or Amazon, you're going to have the pickers out there going collecting the stuff, the people overseeing the process, you've got engineers, you've got any number of people that are going to be involved in this organization. And at the outset, you need to be thinking about this. So the business needs to think what it's going to need in the end, and it needs to instruct the program on what it needs to create. Then we think in terms of technology. Now, technology can be a huge range of things. And in this concept, we're looking at an out-of-town, great out-of-town distribution center, potentially. And the technology within the building, you can see the conveyor belts moving stuff around. All of this comes under our technology or tools hat, or you could even call it assets, right? These are the things that want to get the job done. And we've got the IT systems that sit below it, tracking. We need all these things in place. You don't build the factory and think about the IT systems, do we? We think that if we're going to go online, the IT systems are going to be the things that drive us. How the portal works, how the orders come in, are going to drive the technology we need. And then we start to think about the processes and how they're going to operate. How are those boxes going to get through? How does the order get from the portal into the business, into the pickers, into the boxes, and how does it actually get out the door? How does it actually get delivered to people through the supply chain of, say, the mail system? It's end to end, because the process you would need to think about is from the moment they hit buy on the website to the moment it arrives at their front door. It's you that's in control of that in the online business world. Okay, so there's some things that you need to think about. So some ideas that we've come up with to help you kind of bring it to life. So rather than the thought process of what would you need to do. So when we think about the organization, this is a checklist of things that we need to think about. How many people, what types of people, what culture do we need? What supply chain, who's going to bring that, how are we going to get the orders from here out to the doorsteps of our customers? That's part of our organization. It's the supply chain. What customer behavior do we need? What are the distribution links through the supply chain? We need the incoming supplies so we can sell it, as well as the outgoing supplies. All right. Then we've got to think just bringing the technology thing to life. It's not just about the processing. Where's the management offices going to be? Are they going to be at the out of town retail park? Are we going to have them in the centre of London or a big city somewhere? So you've got access to the finance and all that sort of stuff. Thinking about the robotics, how do things get through? Are we going to get people to move the stuff, or are we going to get robots to do it? How many sites do we need to manufacture any of this stuff ourselves? And how are we going to warehouse those products? All that stuff comes into technology because there are assets that are going to get the job done. Then we think about the management information, the performance of the site, the level of cash we need, service levels, market trends, capitalization, all those numbers we need to manage this thing, to make sure we got enough cash in the bank to pay our bills, that we're tracking what's going on in the market, the behaviors, the age groups that are using us, all that management information. That's what we need to be successful, because there's a lot of aggressive competitors that we're going to be dealing with. And then the processes, which we've kind of already alluded to there. Yeah, so the service lines, what products are we going to sell? You know, how are we going to, if we're an online retailer, what's this year's fashion going to look like? How are we going to make those decisions? How are we going to get the quantities? Everybody online wants it within 24 hours. Where's our warehousing? How are we going to make sure we got the stuff in? And when we've got it in, how do we get it out the door so we don't have big stockpiles of unsold goods? So can we push it back into our supply chain to do just-in-time delivery? So those are the kind of things that we need to think about to make this really work. Organizational structure, technology, money, service level, all the management information that we need to know that we are a high-performing company. But most importantly, better performing than our competitors, because if we're not, they're going to wipe us out. And finally, how do we get things done? It's not how do we get the orders in from the customers, but also where we're going to get the latest brands and the latest trends, so that we're on the case of when the young people or whoever it is are coming to buy stuff off us. Okay, so that's how when we're delivering the outcomes. So POTI is not just some headings that we think about in a document. It's really the end game. It's all those out. It's all very well saying having outcomes that will be the best. What do you need to have in place to be the best? That's what POTIs are all about. Okay. Well, I hope you found that useful. As always, at the end of one of our videos, we hope you go away and have a nice cup of coffee and have a little think about the implications of what we've just said and how you can bring that to life in your organisation. So I hope to meet you one day. This is Rod Southern signing off.